Hello and welcome to the Wheel of Crime podcast. This podcast is ran by two ladies who play games, shout profanities, and laugh way too often. Also, this podcast does cover topics of sensitive nature, and as such, listener discretion is advised.
Hello, and welcome to 2026.
Holy.
My name is Jen.
My name is Emily. Welcome. We are here at last. 2026.
Yes, promptly. Look at us improving.
Well, maybe.
We got our shit figured out
I told
for
you
right
in the last
now.
episode that I was practicing self-awareness. I know myself better than this. But we are very prompt this year, and I hope things have been well. I was with you obviously on New Year's, so I already know your New Year's resolution. But do you want to share it on the show?
Honestly, I don't know.
I thought you were just gonna end it. And I was like, okay.
I feel like it's interesting because I think last year one of my big personal resolutions was to figure out like my skin, because I've always had terrible skin, and I did that last year. I got that shit sorted out, so now I'm like, what else do I need to fix, like
You're doing
else?
Like the I can fix it mentality that like people have when they're young, but you're like looking in the mirror, you're like, I can fix this.
I can fix it. No, honestly, just like my goal for this year is to go to Japan.
Hell yeah.
And to be happy. That's it.
My goal this year also to go to Japan, because that's something we're doing together for surezies, at some point. And I relate to the being happy. That was ironically my New Year's resolution last year. I don't think I achieved that. Maybe I can try again this year.
Give it another go.
Well, I feel like it's worth a try. Yeah, because that did not happen last year. No, not too many details, but damn, whoa, glad that's
yeah,
over.
Emily went through it.
Whoa,
Emily went through it.
Yes, and then besides that, how were the holidays? Did you get up to anything particularly crazy? See some family? Do that whole shebang?
Just kept things pretty low key. Saw my fam, and I feel like it's so hard to get into the holiday spirit as an adult. I find it like harder and harder every year.
It keeps feeling like work.
And like, yes. And I'm just like, I want it to feel like fun and magical again. But I don't know if that's possible. Maybe it is.
I've had a few people mention to me who have children that what brought the magic of Christmas back to them was having kids, which is fabulous for them. I really do enjoy that for them. For me though,
Yeah.
I don't know if I ever had the magic of Christmas. I've had maybe the shadows of Christmas. I've always found it to be very stressful. Not to end like it is cute in its own way, and not to say, I don't love the big red man and some of these other things and seeing friends and family, but I don't know, it's just it's never quite held the same joy for me that I know it has for you in the past. I would like to find that one day. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's age, maybe it's life. Maybe it's the fact that it also just kind of feels like a really big reason for people to spend money. Like, I feel like advertisements, especially this last year, was such a big thing where it didn't matter where I went or what I did. There's just always 1 billion advertisements flashing in my face being like, buy this, all the time. I can't do it anymore.
I'm getting so sick of it. And I just like, I don't know, it's weird. Like, it's getting to the point now where, like, when I go to Winners, I'm like, I don't even want any of this.
That's how I feel now, too. I literally went to a farmer's market with some friends, bought not a single thing. And that's a farmer's market where people are typically selling things that they make. There were a few places, like, in this farmer's market that did that, but a lot of them were reselling stuff, and I knew they were reselling
like the
stuff.
Temu shit?
Because I've seen it online. So then I'm like, and just, I don't know, maybe that's a part of it though, is just because of the tone, I guess, of the holidays, and the fact that that's kind of the point, is people want to sell you stuff so that you buy stuff and then give it to people who then have more stuff. But I'm kind of tired of stuff. I don't know.
I know. It's getting to be a bit much, and I feel like maybe like one of my resolutions is to spend not more. God,
Could
not
you
more.
imagine
Less
my New
time
Year's
on social
resolution?
media.
Spend more money. I need to be poorer, actually.
No, to spend less time on social media because I genuinely feel my brain rotting
Mm-hmm.
and I need to do something about that.
Right. And for me, it's more like I think I'm just kind of bored because there's so many brain rot type things that are circulating on the internet right now. And then also, I'm so tired of advertisements. I like pay so many things to specifically not have to see them. And then now it's like every time I open up Instagram, it's like, have you bought this on Amazon? And I'm like,
Go
please
away.
leave me alone.
Like, sorry, Marky Zuck. I don't want your
Go
fucking
zuck yourself. I
whatever
don't want
shit.
more shit in my house.
Whatever I left in my Amazon cart is none of your
For
business.
real.
Stop trying to tell
For
me
real.
about it.
That,
I
that's
know it's
between me and
there. Leave me
Amazon.
alone.
You get out of here.
Yeah, like no one asked you. Nobody asked
Literally.
you.
Oh my god. Okay. Well, I mean, we could talk about the overconsumption of the holidays and put everybody in a bad mood, or we can start off on a slightly happier note. For this
Yeah,
year,
we
because I
should
have
do
a story
that.
for you today. And that does mean I have
Oh,
4 questions for you, which also means I get to spin
perfect.
our wheel, which people love. The people, our people. We love the
They say
wheel. We
more
love the wheel.
wheel.
So
Give us more.
ready.
More wheel.
Which part of the world are your favorite monsters from? And when I go monsters for this question, I'm just going to say shit that we've talked about in the show because I've done a lot of cultural based monsters or cryptids or folklore or whatever. Is there like a specific country in the world or culture where I've talked about monsters from there and you're like, wow, this is always like so cool, or wow, like I can't believe these are from here?
Eastern European monsters.
Mm.
They feel very classy to me.
They do, don't they? I would agree with that. Um, I would say also similarly, I do like the European monsters, kind of for the same reason, and they always are very like a super historical. Like it started like
Hmm.
hundreds of thousands of years ago, the story, and there's still sightings or talking
At
about
the
it.
dawn of
Literally.
time.
And
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm in. Or there's like a castle, and I'm like, I'm in. Or I actually also really like First Nations folklore stories, like from North America. Those ones are
Yes.
also super interesting to me.
I feel like they're always like very unique and like I love the way that they're like they I feel like they're always very like rooted in like their culture even to today. Like they don't just like go away. Like I think some of the European ones they're like, "Oh, this existed 30,000 years ago and now we never talk about them." And that flying ship, yeah, that's not a thing anymore because we figured out it was a reflection. But like the indigenous ones, I feel like are more like, oh no, this could still be
Mm-hmm.
here.
And I think a part of that too is that just First Nations folklore in general and culture is very tied into nature. And nature always
Yes,
has this element of mystery to it because while we still know a lot, you don't know everything. So yeah, it
exactly.
maintains that level of interest, which I really like.
It's got that mysterious, ethereal vibe
It's
that
got
I
that
love.
stank on it. Love that ethereal
Love
stank.
that.
All right. Well, let's spin for our next question. If you could become a monster, what would you choose? We'll just say for this, because obviously, like I've mentioned previously, I talk about a lot of monsters on the show. Is there anything you've heard as far as like monstrous qualities go where you're like, I think that'd be fucking sick to have?
I think I'd like to become the Loch Ness monster because like she just seems like so aloof and it's something I try to channel into my own life, so I can really relate to her on that front.
I really love that for you. I really also the way you looked at me when you said that was just as a statement as well. You're like, I believe that this is
This is
this is who
me.
I need to be. And I love that you understand yourself so intimately. To know that you are the Loch Ness monster, I think that's wonderful. And also the courage that you have to
Yeah.
share it with all of us here. here on the show is
See, you're giving Bigfoot, you know?
Bigfoot. No, I'm not that heavy.
You're giving
I'm not
Sasquatch.
that heavy. Well, I mean, it is January. I'm a little hairy. I'm a little hairy. I'm not that hairy.
Tee.
I don't know. I think if I, but honestly though, Loch Ness Monster, I'm into it because it also is mildly giving dinosaur, like, you know, like that kind of
Yeah.
energy. Love it.
So
I feel
sick.
like for me, what kind of monster would I choose? I do kind of like the cryptids I cover or like the monsters I cover. The ones that are kind of like a little bit of like a sneaky little ambush predator. Like I guess vampires would fall into this category, but like anything that is kind of like that where or like you know like the Mothman where you don't see it and then suddenly it like ambushes you and snatches you out of the sky. I'm kind of into it. I don't know exactly what that would be, but
I mean, you've got the skin of a killer, so that makes sense for you.
I've always said that. I have always had the skin of a
Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah.
Like that tracks.
Yeah, no, I do feel that though. I feel like that to me really speaks to me, so. Yes.
Amazing. Let's move for our next question. No, we've got that settled.
If you could pick a monstrous nickname for yourself, what would you pick? Because I feel like a lot of the ones that we talk about, literally, like we said, Nessie, Bigfoot, Dracula. But also I feel like a lot of names that end up getting picked for all these monsters are usually like very on the nose. Like the swamp monster or whatever.
I'll be Gingivitis.
No, that's just your alter ego. I need you to pick a monstrous nickname. I guess Gingivitis would still work for a monster, you know?
Yeah, like teeth, dental problems, terrifying.
Definitely monstrous. All right. I'm happy with that. I like gingivitis for you. For me, I don't know. This is hard. Because on one hand, there's not really a lot of good play on word ones for the name Emily. Now that I'm going with like my like ambush predator monstrous qualities that I picked before, maybe I'd be like the Snatcher or something.
Count M?
No, I want to be Emily the Snatcher.
You know what?
I like
Slay.
it. I like it. I like it's got the word snatch in there. Very on brand for me.
Yeah.
Because I am
Very.
also a woman and iconic. I'm putting this on myself.
Yeah.
And then secondly, very on brand, very on theme. I feel like that works.
I love that for you. I think that's perfect.
All right. Let's spin for our last question. Twilight. Right? We all know what it is.
Yes. I do, at least.
Almost 30-year-olds. Where do we land on Team Edward or Team Jacob? And if we are Team Vampire or Team Werewolf, why?
Okay, well, Team Jacob, I'm sorry, he's literally a pedophile. He wants to fuck a baby.
Yes.
So, but Team Edward, he's the groomer because he's like 100 and some dating a 17-year-old.
Yes. It's all bad.
But if I have to pick one, it's got to be Team Edward.
Literally, I have the same thought process because we share a brain cell and we are the same person.
Like, I'm sorry. I will never support a grown man falling in love with a baby. We've taken it too far, Stephanie Meyer.
So, like, obviously the biggest red flag. And then secondly, the whole, like, this never sat right with me, even, like, when we were, like, going through this whole, like, era of popularity with the Twilight series. It's never...
Like the OG
era.
era.
It never sat right with me. The whole, just because she was hanging out with him and Edward was out of the picture, he automatically assumed that meant that, like she belonged to him now and was his woman.
Yeah.
Like, that whole assumption thing of, well, you're just leading me on that because
That's
of blah,
gross.
blah, blah. The whole time, I was like, you're supposed to be her friend.
Yeah.
You icky motherfucker.
I know. That whole bit was disgusting too. So honestly, fuck Jacob. Yeah. I'm Team Edward for life.
IRL, team let's go to Paris. Team France looks great this time of year because the actors still, like Taylor Lautner and Robert Pattinson, still beautiful men to this day. Love them. But I would say if
Mm-hmm.
we're going with Twilight series specific, I am definitely also Team Vampire. And I think if I had to pick a reason that is like not a bad reason on why I would be Team Vampire in the series, it would be that I just think the vampires are just so much more like I don't know, they've got that air of like fanciness to them. I don't know, I kind of like a little air of
Yeah, like they're
fancy.
old money.
Like that if they didn't drink blood, they would be eating brie. And I and,
And drinking
and that
fancy
speaks
wine.
to me, you know?
Yeah. Honestly, also the whole like alpha beta thing just kind of gives me the
Mm,
ick. Like, I'm
yeah.
sorry. You really like,
Oh
ugh.
yeah.
You're talking about who's the
Yeah, you're
alpha?
like you're like
I'm
now there's a
sorry, get away from
hierarchy and
me.
you're trying to boss me around. Go fuck yourself.
Get out of here.
Who do you think you're talking to?
Literally get
For
out of here.
real.
If a man came up to me and he's like, I'm an alpha, I would literally like be like, that's embarrassing for you.
That's
Maybe go to therapy.
embarrassing. You're like, wow, I'd hate to be you because yuck.
Yeah, like that is
Ew.
disgusting.
Gross. And
Heinous.
suddenly every man,
Absolutely
if there
heinous.
are any who listen to our show who identify as an alpha, beta, or omega, are suddenly like, oop, guess I'm out of here.
Good. Good riddance. Didn't want you here anyway,
Oh my God.
bitch.
But yes, so based off my questions for you today, can you take a guess as to what my story is for you?
Oh, I feel like we're talking either about a vampire or a werewolf cryptid in a specific area. Maybe Transylvania? I don't know.
0.25 points.
Okay. Wow. Not off to a great
But
start.
that's not zero. And I did purposely
Wow,
mislead
thank
you
you.
today because I was we did an episode back in October. And I just
Okay.
really, really loved your specific reactions at this time. So I felt inspired, one could say, and I went, Emily, deep in the folds of your brain. When have you covered a story that is similar to this, but maybe worse? And I found one for you. Worse, I guess.
Worse?
Worse is up to
Worse?
interpretation, I guess, because also iconic, which is also very
Okay.
unique. So I was like, this is the story.
I love
for Jen.
iconic. Perfect. I love when things are catered to me and my wants and needs.
Of course, of course.
That's my ideal situation.
So I'm going to tell you the description. You can tell me afterwards if you've heard it, but I'm going to say right now, I really doubt you have.
Probably not.
But you do surprise me, so we will see. So,
all right, take it away.
The Manananggal, also known as the Remover, is a mythical creature in the Philippines that is able to separate its upper torso from the lower part of its body. Their fangs and wings give them a vampiric-like appearance.
Ooh, see, I told you vampire-esque from a specific place.
0.5 or 0.25.
That's like 98%.
98. That's generous.
Okay, we grade on a curve on this show.
0.20.
Oh, whoa. Wow. Rude.
Teacher.
Do you guys hear
Well,
this heinous treatment I'm getting?
I can't even do math, so it's just getting worse.
Fuck.
But I'll get into my story here, and we can compare this to my story that I did before, which I know was a Japanese story about a lady whose torso's cut in half. I'm having
oh God, Emily, it's still dark. I'm still scared.
For another few months, Pookie, buckle up.
Oh fuck.
So the word Manananggal is derived from the Tagalog word tangal, meaning to remove or to separate, and it is literally translating to remover or separator. In this case, it may be interpreted as one who separates itself. The name is also associated with an expression referring to a severed torso. In Philippine folklore, the Manananggal is typically portrayed as a fearsome and grotesque creature, most often depicted as female. It is known to detach its upper torso from its lower half with its entrails exposed and grow large bat-like wings it uses to fly at night in search of victims. The Manananggal is commonly believed to prey on sleeping pregnant women by using an elongated proboscis-like tongue to extract fetuses or draw blood.
Okay. Have we as women not suffered enough? If I got pregnant, okay, I'm already pissed. Let me tell you, I'm already fucking pissed. Someone comes up to me with their long tongue to extract that fetus.
Oh, and then suck your blood, by the way, just to be clear.
I'm literally throwing them off of a cliff.
You're like, that's it. They're out of here.
I'm coming for revenge.
But like,
ew.
I literally found this story and I was like, oh, this is so similar to, I don't know why I'm having such a hard time remembering her name right now, but the story, probably because it was like 2 months ago, but the story I did of the Japanese woman who had her body cut in half, I like started this story and I was like, this is so similar. And then I got to this part where it's like, oh, she actually uses her freaky ass demonic tongue to steal babies and suck blood. And I was like, oh, no. This is worse, actually. This is so much worse, actually.
Ew, that makes my skin crawl. I get your fucking weird tongue. It's like those Kiss members.
Yeah.
The members of the band Kiss, their weird tongues, get that shit away from me.
But actually, they have bat wings and vampire teeth, but also it's just their top half and they're a woman. And they're coming for your unborn baby.
I mean, I think they might maybe just describe the whole band Kiss, but yes.
Yes, basically. Folklore also associates the creature with targeting newlyweds, lovers, newborn children, and occasionally grooms who were abandoned before marriage. During its nocturnal hunt, the creature's severed lower torso remains stationary and is its point of vulnerability. Traditional practices for killing a Manananggal include applying salt, garlic, ash, or fire to the lower half, thereby preventing the upper torso from reuniting with it. If it fails to recombine before sunrise, the creature is believed to die. Which, I just want to rewind here. I love that it targets fetuses and draws blood, and that its victim pool is newlyweds, lovers, newborn children, and occasionally grooms. It basically is like, I'm hungry for fertility, guys. Give me the children freshly born. Give me the children in the womb.
Ugh.
Give me the baby making stuff out of the men or blood. I don't really know. Wasn't specified. And then also all of your blood, because that is delicious.
So do you think garlic salt would be more or less effective? Like, just asking.
For a friend?
For a friend.
I would tell your friend, I think so, yes. And then maybe also light it on fire, because why not?
I'll keep a torch and some garlic salt in my bedside table from now on. Good. Just in case that freaky ass tongue comes near me.
Yuck.
Ew.
So the myth of the Manananggal is widely recognized in the Visayan regions of the Philippines, particularly in the western provinces of Capiz, Iloilo, Bohol, and Antique. Descriptions of the Manananggal vary across different accounts, but it is generally associated with characteristics similar to those in other folklore or in other folkloric stories, other folkloric beings in stories such as vampires, Visayan folklore entities, and aswangs, as Manananggals are also believed to be repelled by garlic, salt, and holy water. They are also thought to avoid daggers, light, vinegar, spices, and the tail of a stingray, which can be fashioned into a whip. Which is hardcore as fuck, by the way. I feel like that's a great way to acquire one of those, and then if anybody asks, just be like, gotta chase away, those demonic, long-tongued beings that steal children and blood. Like, obviously you gotta keep one on hand.
See, I know you could never be one of these cryptids because vinegar, garlic, salt, like
see that's your sign. You see, if I ever come to visit you and I'm like, ooh, I actually hate vinegar and salt and garlic, you're like, that's a fucking demon. Get her out of my house.
If you ever told me you're like, actually, no, I don't want vinegar, or like, I don't want that, I'd be like, literally, this is a doppelganger impersonating my best friend.
Paranormal, demonic entity,
spooky.
Alien, get the fuck out of my house.
Like, if Emily ever turns down a side of vinegar, you know something's wrong.
Facts, though. Facts.
Something's very wrong.
Very wrong. So then, in Capiz in particular, or Capiz, is frequently cited as a focal point for the Manananggal lore and other supernatural folklore involving beings such as ghosts, goblins, and ghouls, collectively referred to as aswangs. Despite the influence of modernization, belief in and reports of encounters with such creatures reportedly persist in certain areas. Comparable mythical figures appearing in neighboring Southeast cultures, including those in Indonesia and Malaysia. The Manananggal also share certain traits with European Let's start over. The Manananggal also shares certain traits with European vampire folklore, particularly those from the Balkan region, such as aversion to garlic, salt, and sunlight. And you know what else? Remember forever ago that little vampire story I told you about with the creepy finger in the window?
I'll never forget. I think you told that story like literally 3 years ago.
Balkan region.
Balkan. Makes
right?
sense.
The dang
fuck-ass fingernails.
Balkans. So then there are other Filipino vampires as well, known as such as the Tagalog Mandurugo, also known as a bloodsucker, and is a variety of the aswang that takes a form of an attractive girl by day and then develops wings and a long, hollow, thread-like tongue by night. The tongue is used then to suck up blood from the sleeping victim. They use an elongated proboscis-like tongue to suck fetuses from these pregnant women, like the Manananggal, and they also prefer to eat entrails, specifically the heart and the liver, as well as the phlegm of sick people. To which I say, have we not done enough?
That's heinous.
I feel like fetuses and blood was enough. Now you gotta eat the heart and the liver and the phlegm of sick people? Yuck.
It's the phlegm for me. Like, that's just disgusting.
See, I try not to yuck up other people's yums. But at the same time,
no, I yuck it all the time.
I could maybe forgive the heart, liver, and phlegm of a healthy person. Sick people? Why?
I'm sorry. No, it's a no for me.
Yeah, that's where I draw the line. Nowhere else.
Fine. Yeah. Get your nasty tongue, put it where you want, but drinking my phlegm.
Tongue. Yuck.
Absolutely. So
You're
gross.
welcome. We also have some historical accounts. So, this is a quote. The seventh was called Magtatangal, and his purpose was to show himself at night to many persons, without his head or entrails. In such wise, the devil walked about and carried, or pretended to carry, his head to different places, and in the morning returned to his body, remaining, as before, alive. This seemed to me a fable, although the natives confirm that they have seen it, because the devil probably caused them to believe so. This occurred in the Catanduanes. So this is a quote of an event of a Magtatangal, which I believe is a variation of the Manananggal, but a man. And this is from Juan de Plasencia from the Custom of Tagalogs, which is a book that was written in 1589. Then we have, this is in another language, so I am so sorry, everybody. I am who I am. Which is apparently, I do not know how to speak every language on earth. So sorry. But I will try.
She barely knows English, guys. Give her a break.
So, Brujo Magtangal dicen que vuela y com carne humana pero cuando levanta el vuelo no le ves más que el medio cuerpo y por eso every Spanish person is literally turning off the podcast right now. Se llama...
Why don't you type it into like Google Translate?
There's a translation after, but I'm doing the original quote first. So, por eso se llama así porque es de Tangal que es denskar something. Y tal desencaja la mitad del cuerpo y ese leva consigo de dos en casa el otro medio Magtatangal. This is the translation.
Emily needs Duolingo immediately.
Emily needs access to a dictionary. A thesaurus would do anything.
Multiple dictionaries.
Translate. So this is what it says. A witch. They say that it flies and eats human flesh, but when it flies, it has only half its body. And that is why it is called, because it is Tangal, which means it can disengage, and he dislodges half of his body and carries the other half home. And that is from Domingo de los Santos, vocabulary, 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 vocab.
Oh my gosh. Holy shit.
Okay, I can do it. I can do it. Vocabulario de lengua tagala in the year 1703.
I'm so sorry, guys.
That was rough. Okay. Moving on from that nightmare, we also have some modern depictions of from of the Manananggal, which I'm not even sure is the right way you say that. I am so sorry. So, in comics, we have the Manananggal and other Aswang appear in the Filipino supernatural comic series Trays. In television, they appear as vampires in Blade, the animated series in Season 1, Episode 5. Manananggals were portrayed as enemies in a video game called Shin Megami Tensei V, which I think is the fifth. I don't know my Roman numerals off the top of my head, but others include. Stop! I'm just
oh my god, I love you so much. I love you so much.
On July 2025, American fashion doll franchise Monster High collaborated with multinational girl group Cat's Eye for their new theme song. Each of the group's members were depicted as monsters from their respective cultures, and Sophia, the Filipina member of the group, was depicted as a Manananggal. Also, as a sidebar, the Manananggal is an object in the SCP Foundation, which is a internet paranormal creation of some kind, basically a new age creepypasta. And it is designated as SCP-5201 and is also classified as a USLID. So if we have any of the youth who listen to our show, they will probably know what I'm talking about. Now, you might be thinking to yourself,
hello,
Emily,
children.
Now, did you just say hello? Are you listening?
No, I said hello, fellow children.
You're so young. But you might be thinking to yourself, Emily, this show has gone by so fast today. It is because I actually also found a story on Reddit of a fellow who has an experience with a Manananggal. So I thought I would tag that into the end here, and then we can discuss afterwards some of your thoughts on the Manananggal and these other things.
We love a first-hand experience,
right? So this is from the subreddit or the Reddit hashtag no sleep, which I feel like is one we've talked about before. That's a very common paranormal subreddit, and this is from user Holly X Turn Me On. So this is their story. This is not me. This is their story. But it is written from the first person perspective. It is just not me. Which we know. Okay. Hey, no sleep. I've been a lurker for a long time now. I'm coming across a story about a Filipino, supposedly mythical creature. It kind of inspired me to write about an experience I had as a kid. It's hard for me to write and or tell about my experience since I'm really not quite sure if it happened or if it's just something a frightened child with an overactive imagination just made up. But anyways, here goes my story. I am born and raised in the Philippines, and growing up, my grandparents often told me and my cousins stories of our rich, fear-filled culture, one in particular of a female monster we call the Manananggal. Just a little background story. The Manananggal is a lady witch who can sever her body in half. The process is different among the places in the country, but the one my grandparents told us is that she has this magical oil she would massage onto her body that would cause her to split in half and to grow bat-like wings, which leaves her lower half from the waist down in her house in the woods, while her upper half flies around in search of fetuses to devour upon. Now in our village, yeah, that's a great story for children. So scary.
Thanks, Grandpa. And tell me another bedtime story.
Another one. Now, in our village, stories went around that every once in a while, at around 3 a.m., a Manananggal visits in search of pregnant ladies. An indicator would be the distinctive and pungent smell of fish sauce and the sound of tick, 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 which they apparently make as they fly.
Hmm.
Which, if you think back to the episode I did of the person whose body's separated,
Yes.
same thing, tick, tick, tick. The thing about the ticking sound is that when it sounds faint or far, it actually means that the Manananggal is nearby, and it's said to do
Ew.
this to confuse its victims on purpose. Yeah,
Rude.
right? Don't scare me like that. If you're gonna be loud, be here at the same time. We live in a
Yeah, like,
society.
don't sound far away. Girl, just be upfront about
right?
it.
So now the story begins. I think I was 7 at the time, and while everyone else in this family that's just me, the family. Everyone else in the family was asleep. I somehow couldn't bring myself to follow suit. I was restless with nothing in particular in my head keeping me awake. I remember just laying there in my bed, staring at the ceiling when suddenly I hear a noise. Confused, I sat on my bed and looked around. Nothing but darkness. I listened again. Tick, tick, tick. My eyes went wide open. If I knew how to swear at this time in my life, the F's would have been flying. I slammed my head back into my pillow as kids normally do, and I covered myself up in my magic blanket, trembling in fear. But the noise kept on ticking. My heart...
I'm trembling in fear.
My heart was beating out of my chest, and I was on the verge of tears. I was weighing the options between screaming for my mom or not, because screaming might alert something that might eat me up that I'm wide awake, and I can't let that happen. Yes, I know the Manananggal went for pregnant ladies, but at that age, I just thought everything could eat me.
That's valid.
I know I read that, and I was like, yeah. Pretty much. So, the ticking noise went away slowly, as if the one making it was fleeing away. I sighed relief, calmed a bit, and then made the biggest mistake of my life, forgetting that when the tick-tick goes far away, it means that the Manananggal is nearby.
Ooh.
After I removed my cover, bricks were shat. The bitch's grinning face was on my window, her blood-thirsty eyes looking into my frozen wide eyes. Mother of Jesus, I screamed and noped the fuck out of my room. I ran into my mother's room where she welcomed me into an embrace. By then, I think I may have passed out from fear.
Same.
The next morning, my mother asked me what happened, and I told her what's up. She laughed at me and told me that's how imaginative kids are, and how cute it was. This is why I still have my doubts, even after her face was scarred in my memory. The thing, though, is, at that moment, when my pregnant Yaya, maidservant, served us our food and heard our conversation, I saw her freeze and her eyes went wide. She looked at me and said, "You saw her too?"
Oh, I hate
and
that.
The last part of this is just, I cried. Bitch, me too. What the fuck?
I am crying currently.
See, that's always something too, where like if you have a really freaky experience, it's one thing if you experience it on your own, because then you can be like, oh yeah, I'm just silly. I'm just so silly. But the minute somebody else is like, oh, wait, you saw that too?
I also saw that.
No. Especially too, this is a woman
No.
who was living or working in your house who is pregnant and saw the same fucking thing? Absolutely not. No. No.
Oh. Get rid of it. Kill
like,
it.
Weeping 1,000 million tears. Fuck that.
I don't think I'd ever sleep again, actually.
Yep. Well, it is on the subreddit, #NoSleep or r/NoSleep. And yeah.
Well, okay, then
valid.
That makes sense.
So valid. That was the right place to put that, actually.
Yep.
But what'd you think of my story today? It is not the longest I've done, also not the shortest, but I really liked when I found that story there at the end, because first of all, she's horrifying. But it is also so similar, like I said, to that other story I shared of the ghost that was split in half by a train, except for the fact that I do truly believe that the Manananggal is like 50 million times worse.
It's so interesting. Like, she's very scary, first off. But, like, it's interesting how these sort of, like, cryptid tales start. Like, I'm so curious, like, because I am generally more of a skeptic of, like, I don't feel like these things are necessarily true, but like I'm curious how something like this started, and especially since it's like now cross cultural, like this story's from the Philippines, that other story you shared was from Japan. So it's interesting how these things like come up into the cultural
Oh,
zeitgeist.
totally, yeah. And I do think it's interesting though. There is just it's like similar but also just different enough. Like the
Yeah.
whole aspect of her having a giant tongue. And when I say the word proboscis, I haven't actually searched up in recent years what that means. I believe that means to be kind of like a mosquito like almost, or like elongated and with like a tube in it,
Yeah.
is kind of what I'm picturing. That and eating fetuses, that is like an entirely new level of, oh my god, that's fucking horrifying.
Yeah. I don't know. It's also interesting to me, specifically cryptids that are like women.
Mm-hmm.
And this one too, like it's like creating this like fear around like pregnancy, which I feel like is a pretty common thing culturally,
Yes,
because women, you know, are more at risk for death when they're
totally.
pregnant. So it's just
And
interesting.
you know what else this reminds me of now that you bring it up? So this does remind me of the Japanese story, and it does also remind me of the band Kiss, which you already brought up. But it actually also reminds me of, since there's allegedly both men and women who are these creatures, and they are both said to drink blood and eat children or newlyweds and babies and blah blah blah. You actually know what that makes me think
Mm-hmm.
of? It makes me think of, this again would have been an episode from ages ago. But do you remember when I did our episode on incubuses and succubuses, which are sex demons?
Yeah.
It almost sounds similar to that, but it doesn't
Yeah.
seem to be, cuz if I'm remembering correctly, this would have been like, I do think that this was one of our earlier episodes, with it for sure within the first 2 years of us doing this podcast, where I would have done this story. But I do remember it being a thing where basically they would prey on and either steal energy or knock people up or drink blood, which is kind of similar to the Manananggal, but it doesn't seem to be dependent on the sexual element, just the procreative element, which I thought was very interesting.
Mm-hmm. Because like even like you said, it sometimes will like go for like grooms
Right?
specifically.
And so I'm like, okay, like that is very interesting. And it's kind of like a weird blend of like an incubus succubus ghost retelling, but also a vampire. I don't know. But also the whole tongue thing, I would love to know how that became a thing. I don't want to know if she's real.
Yeah.
I don't want her to be real, to be
Yeah.
perfectly honest.
She's not.
But it's such
She
it's such a
can't
mix
be.
of things where I'm like, whoa, this is a lot.
She walked so that Gene Simmons could run.
For actually though. Um so I guess my question then, because I always do this with my episodes, I feel like all of us on the show know where you stand on the paranormal. Um, do you believe she's real or not? I feel like we've already touched on this, but in the case of questioning her existence, why do you think this story is being shared, and what do you think she possibly could be?
I don't know. I think that there are some things that can't be explained, and I think that's okay.
You're just like my mother, saying really cryptid, spooky shit and just leaving it at that.
Well, what about you, Emily?
So I can't say for sure because this is a very cultural specific one. I feel like if you're not living in the Philippines, it's kind of like
Mm-hmm.
where we're from and the Windy Boys. You can't really say a lot if you're not in that place to be able to have that experience. I do think that
Right.
I think if stories are prevalent enough, there's obviously some truth behind it. As to what she actually might be, I'm not totally sure. But I do think there's a lot to be said in folklore in general on how, like you were saying earlier, the manifestations of people's fears in cultures and kind of how they can come about. I think that this is a very interesting take on that, where like you had said earlier, there is a fear of either pregnancy because it results oftentimes in death for women, and there's a sacrifice to that, about the things that we don't necessarily know about, the other side, or the fear of procreation or the fear of death. I think that's a big element here.
Mm-hmm.
And beyond that, I don't know. I would really need to look and see if there's like an animal or like a or like something specifically from the Philippines that also sucks blood in that kind of way that would also be super fucking freaky
Yeah.
cuz like I said, that is such a unique element to me of this cryptid where I'm like, "Whoa."
Yeah, I don't know. Like I would be very interested to know like the specific like how this actually started,
And
you
it might
know?
also be an explanation for miscarriages once upon a time as well,
Yeah, that is very
right?
true. Or abortions,
Mhm.
like
Oh, totally, yeah. So there definitely could be a lot of reasons for this, and I will also add this didn't come up in my notes, but it did come up when I was doing my translation today because I know who I am. The Manananggal also within the last couple of years got a feature in another video game, I believe, but I don't believe they called it the Manananggal in the video game. It came up
okay.
briefly when I was looking up information. Dead by Daylight. It's a horror video game, and You can basically play as different monsters that hunt other players. It's like one of those types of games. And one of the monsters you can be,
Right.
apparently as a new addition, is inspired by, or at the very least supposed to be, the Manananggal. Where I don't think you have the bat wings, and I don't think you're a vampire, but you play as a woman whose body splits in half, and she hunts you with the top half of her body.
That's so
Right?
spooky. Like that's a very spooky
Uh
concept.
huh.
I don't know. That would freak me out so
Oh, freaks me out too.
much.
I mean, is there anything else you want to add on here before I close up the show?
No, I think that's all for
Right
today.
on. Well, if you liked today's episode, make sure to leave us a review on wherever you're listening to our podcast. We also have our website, which is www.wheelofcrime.com. You can check us out on there. We have our Patreon, which is Wheel of Crime at Patreon. We have our email, which is wheelofcrime@gmail.com. And we have our social media, which is on Facebook, X, Instagram, and TikTok, all at Wheel of Crime. Lastly, we did just do a listeners episode as our previous episode. If you would like to submit for our next listeners episodes, which should be coming up in Valentine's Day, we're hoping. Listen while you listen already. Keep listening. And also write in your story. And you can get a feature on our next listener episode. And those are always fun. So feel free, have fun. Did you listen today and you're like, I know her? Write in about it. Tell us all about the Manananggal. Or don't, if it's really, really freaky and you're too freaked out. But also, I kind of want to know. So please write in.
We love a
We
scary
love a scary
story.
story. And yeah, that's it on my end.
Yes, that's it. That's all. And we'll see you next week for another new episode. Okay, bye.
Bye.